everyone, MeltingMan234 here, and welcome to another episode of Forgotten Media, where I dig up some stuff beyond the grave. Mwahahahaha. Anyway, seeing how Halloween is just around the corner, this year we'll be taking a look at one of the most frightening and violent video games, simply known as CarnEvil, a two-player on-rail shooter that was released for the arcades on Halloween of 1998. This arcade shooter was made by Midway Games. Yeah, back in the day when Midway used to be in business. The story is about the legend of Ludwig von Tokentaker, an insane ringmaster that created his Carnival of Souls, or CarnEvil for short. After a severe accident, the circus and all of the employees were burned to the ground, and Tokentaker was sentenced to death. Not long after that, a mysterious tombstone of Tokentaker appears in Green Valley, Iowa, where his circus of horrors once stood. Thus began the tale that anyone who inserts a token into the tombstone slot inside of a jester's mouth, then CarnEvil would rise again. Years later, two kids named Jacob and Lisa are on a tractor ride called Spooky Sam's Ghost Tour, when they hop off to see the tombstone of Tokentaker, where a token rests near it. So they feed it to the jester's mouth, thus unleashing hell onto the world. Armed with shotguns taken straight from the carnival's shooting gallery, the two kids make their way through the insane festival and must defeat Tokentaker before dawn, otherwise the carnival will disappear along with them. The game features 4 levels: a haunted house full of zombies, spiders, and bats, Rickety Town, a compilation of attraction rides, the Freak Show, where as the name states, contains some of the freakiest creatures of the carnival. And if you have enough quarters to make it past all 3 levels, then you make your way to the big top and your final battle with Tokentaker. At the start of each level, a floating jester head named Alot would give out a cryptic poem of what to expect in the carnival. His scenes are pretty entertaining if you're into those kind of characters.
Welcome to the haunted house. Meet a ghoul who lost her head. If you'd like to stay and join us, you're always welcome, alive or dead.
This light gun game has you going around shooting enemies while navigating through the park's attractions. Occasionally, you have to reload your gun when you're out of ammo by either cocking it or shooting it off screen. There are some moments in the game when the camera turns, only to have you take a hit from an enemy, so you gotta be quick on your feet so that you don't waste so many quarters in this arcade. Besides having health packs to increase your health, there are a variety of weapons you can use to your advantage, like a shotgun, a flamethrower, a machine gun, an item to increase the number of bullets you hold, and a gun that shoots out acid. The enemies in this game are probably some of the strangest and macabre creatures I've seen. Besides the casual zombies and bats, you've got demented elves with sharp candy canes, enemies called Flapjack, which are 2 bodies glued together, killer clowns, mimes that really don't do anything, spider monkeys, yeah, literally spider monkeys, and some more enemies that are more freakier than the next. And occasionally there will be this random girl named Betty running around helplessly. Besides, it can't be a first-person arcade shooter game without the "don't shoot the civilians" deal. There's also an interesting handful of bosses. Sure, you have Hambone, a mini-boss that's a spoof of Jason Voorhees, but then you have some of the main bosses like Evil Marie, the Victorian girl out for blood, Krampus, the anti-Santa Claus, and Junior, the giant mutant baby. This game is known for its blood and gore. Even for an arcade game made in 1998, this game had the balls to go this far with the violence. There are also some interesting Easter eggs that some of you might not know about this game. When you choose the haunted house, cock the gun 5 times before the level begins. If done correctly, the zombies will be wearing random hats throughout the level. Yeah, weird, isn't it? Makes you think they were predicting the zombie apocalypse of Team Fortress 2. There are some interesting cameos of characters from an arcade game called Trog. It features the caveman from the game frozen in ice in the Freak Show, and even some of the dinosaurs from the game act as enemies in Rickety Town. There was also an alternate version of the opening to Rickety Town, which went something like this. You lose all worries, you lose all care. In Rickety Town I have a hunch. You'll lose your voice from too much screaming. I bet you'll even lose your lunch! There, I just heard my failed attempt of impersonating Umlaut. And our final Easter egg is in Freak Show. Arcade owners had the option of altering the boss's appearance. By typing in a code, the boss in that stage would feature a giant teddy bear called Deddy. I guess they thought that seeing people shooting giant mutant babies was too violent, so sometimes depending on the arcade you were at, they would center it with the giant teddy bear. This game was quite popular back then, so popular that a guy by the name of Jet Matza holds the world record of the game's high score, with 2,083,180 points. I'm surprised it didn't start any fan-made ghost stories about the arcade machine being haunted or something. After all, it was released on Halloween. Maybe that'll give Creepypasta some ideas for a story about the horrors of CarnEvil. After a couple of years, the arcade machine just vanished from arcades and was never seen again. Which is a shame because it was never ported onto any home consoles. I've heard rumors that they had planned to port it onto the PlayStation consoles, but it never happened. Nowadays, the arcade machines have been replaced with other kinds of arcade games these days. Some of them have been put on auction on eBay, and if you're planning to get one, you best save up your money, because these things ain't cheap. Or there's always the option of playing the game through the use of an emulator. In closing, CarnEvil is a horrifically delightful arcade shooter that should at least get an HD remake, or heck, even get a sequel. Or maybe here's an interesting idea, do an HD remake and release it on Steam. Yeah, that'd be something. Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media. So this is Melting Man 234 signing out.
Come on and ride, Big Bunyan ride, no place to hide. Big Bunyan ride, come on inside.